Hey, it's Maddie Mills.
And I'm Lauren, and this is The Weekend Roundup.
Welcome back to The Weekend Roundup. Welcome to The Weekend Roundup Season 3, and Happy New Year.
Yeah, welcome to 2023. It's been a minute.
It's been a long time.
It's been a few minutes.
I'm so glad that we are able to welcome you into your 2023 year. Thank you for joining us on this lovely New Year's Day. Look, we have a lot to catch up on. As much as you guys have missed us, I promise we've missed you more.
Yeah, there's definitely been a few things that we could record today. But we're going to record it over a season. So, yeah, we were just gathering some content for you. Hunting and gathering, you know.
So shall we get into the housekeeping, Maddie?
The housekeeping. I mean, clearly we're not where we usually record.
If you're watching us on YouTube, which you absolutely should do, The Weekend Roundup at youtube.com.
Unless you're driving, then good job.
Whole
You're
other
listening.
story. But we are in Miss Maddie Mills' living room. Our lovely producer, Brianna, is sitting behind the camera. This is our couch that you can see on our new cover photo art.
Yeah, we did drive it to a studio just to take that photo. So I hope you like it.
We left our actual studio with B&V.
We did leave B&V.
We ended our contract.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. We had a 1-year contract with B&V. It ended. We did not renew. I just feel like first season we had so much creative control because it was just us. And we were the only two like real cooks in the kitchen, one could say. And then when we like went with B&V, it was awesome. It gave us so much more free time, and it elevated the show a little bit. Like, we got on YouTube with them and we had our first photo shoot with them and everything. But I think as the season went on, we were just like, I feel like this is so much less Weekend Roundup because, you know, we're in their studio and they're doing a lot.
The chairs were really uncomfortable. I'm gonna be real.
We've said the chairs were uncomfortable to them.
Yeah, like this.
We look uncomfy.
Like, it's not the comfiest setup. Can't lie. And also, like, there's something to be said about our show.
Yeah.
And recording it in front of two 30-year-old men that we, like, had just met.
I think they're late 20s.
No.
Oh, they're not?
No. Oh. They're in their 30s.
Sorry, guys. You just look so young and fruitful.
No tea, no shade. But there's just, like, if we're trying to talk about dicks, you know, I don't want to talk about dicks with two people who are, like, two 30-year-old men that I don't know. You know, I want to talk about dicks in my own living room with Lauren and Brianna.
That makes sense.
And so that's what we're doing.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the studio has been so lovely with us leaving.
Yeah.
Jamie, who's one of our old producers, helped us with our microphones because, guys, I know you saw the stories like last month when we were, or 2 months ago, it would be now, when we were trying to get these microphones set up. And let me just say that if we were not so effing passionate about this podcast, it would have been done 2 months ago because
we're not tech girlies.
The process of getting this set up, GarageBand, you would think it's idiot proof. Guess what? It's not.
Two idiots right here.
We're two halves of one brain.
Like,
we literally just graduated with degrees, and which has a whole like audio visual aspect in it, and we still couldn't figure out how to use the mic.
Yeah, it was not intuitive, not something we really figured out, but it does sound amazing, doesn't it?
Doesn't it
amazing
sound like we're just
setup.
crawled right in your ear?
I have to be honest, I do think our setup now, I just really like it. I'm happy about it. This is like genuinely my living room. We didn't really do anything to it. So yeah, if you want a house tour, I'll give it to you.
Maddie's watched so much our Architectural Digest.
Nice,
I know, did y'all miss that? Did y'all miss that?
The studda.
This is my little studda. But yeah, Maddie has been so kind as to let us record in her house, which wouldn't really make sense to record in mine and Brianna's apartment because we have like 2 cats and it's a gong show in there all the time. But Maddie is thinking about potentially turning one of the rooms in her house into like a Weekend Roundup studio.
It'll happen. I mean, the thing is right now I have a roommate, so no offense, Nikki, but you're going to kick the fuck out. But she's moving out soon, we think. So yeah, so I was like, I mean, it makes sense to just have a studio because the thing is like there needs to be a work-life balance. And while I love my living room with the lights, the cameras, the action, It's not exactly the most zen, relaxing feng shui
Yeah,
place.
there's 2 giant studio lights over here.
Yeah, and we
right
just
now.
leave it set up because it is way easier. Like, I don't want to be, like, putting it up, putting it down. And, like, so, you know, it does kill my feng shui a little. So that's why I'm thinking, you know, another room. And also, too, like, this, like I said, like, I didn't change my living room at all. I think it would be cool to have, like, our own space.
Yeah.
That's, like, the Weekend Roundup studio.
where all of that kind
Yeah,
of is
exactly.
comes into one place.
Yeah.
So we have.
And you know I already have a Pinterest board
I was just
for the
gonna
whole
say, I wish
fucking
you guys
place.
could see the Pinterest board.
Like, I'm
It's
so
beautiful.
excited for it. It's going to be really good. And, yeah, I won't say anything about what it'll look like. But in a few episodes, maybe more, I don't know. In maybe a season, who knows? At some point, we'll have another studio. But for now, you're just chilling in the living room with us, which I also like.
Yeah,
You know?
it's very nice and cash.
It's
and cool.
real. It's authentic.
Yeah.
Which is what we always strive to be. Relatable, authentic queens.
There you go.
Yeah.
How's your try?
It's good. It's good. No brand on it.
I picked up. Yeah,
We're
check this,
professional.
guys.
We're professional.
We support local.
Yeah, no brand.
So now that, so I guess today is, well, it's January 1st because it's the
Because
first day we're out
it's-
of our contract.
and-
Not that we couldn't post when we were still in it, but it just is smoother to do it this way.
Yeah, and also there's something kind of fun about saying, oh, like, we're still in contract. You know, like, I did feel, like, kind of bougie about it. Like, I was like, oh, no, like, sorry, like, we have to wait. Really, we were just, like, trying to get our shit together. Because, like, it's not easy. I know we make it look so easy to do. And, like, our camera falls down and, like, it's like, oh, my God, like, they can do it. No, if we can do it, anyone can do it. But it's not as easy as we maybe assumed.
Yeah,
I don't
mean,
know.
season 1 was definitely, like, so different
Season
from
1, we
what
didn't
this
even
is.
have mics.
No,
Like,
so-
what were we doing? We really said, play.
So this is really just a whole new experience for us. So we're going to be kind of figuring this out as we go. Once again, so happy to have you all on this journey with us. It's really
And
been a
so
journey.
sorry.
It's been, and we're sorry that we dragged you into our lives, but you're the one who initially clicked on the Weekend Roundup on podcast and Spotify. So you're also to blame here as well. But
Like, rate, and review.
yeah, oh yeah, we got to get on that too.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, it is New Year's Day. We are potentially extremely hungover right now in the current day as our audience. We're all in this together. But Maddie, what are your New Year's resolutions?
Ugh, I have the best New Year's resolution I think I've had in a long time. You know, some people say, I want to start going to the gym. I want to start doing all these things. I want to stop. I want to stop getting in fucking relationships.
Maddie!
I know. Not to say I want to be alone, you know, I just do. I want to, like, I'm going to be dating and, like, going on dates. Everything's so serious. I'm just done with it being so serious.
Are you telling us that you're single?
Yeah, I am. I guess we never said I was in a relationship or single, though. Like,
Yeah, we did. In our bonus episode that came out with like Momicide and
yeah,
Jordan.
I forgot.
You
That came out.
have a boyfriend. It hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
In real time. But
That came out.
That's
Yeah,
out.
so I am single. I had a boyfriend there. I do only date in the off season. It just makes things easier, you know, for content and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about this. We came back for season 2 in January, and that was when we had we had to, like, pretend that you had a boyfriend even though you didn't.
Yeah.
Because
That was, like, really dramatic. That was so unnecessary. Like, I was like, I just can't put it out there.
I'm not ready.
Well, we also had pre-recorded or something. Like, there was something there with that.
we did pre-record for a long time. So there was
Before
weeks
that.
of episodes coming out where you were like, I have a
Me
boyfriend.
and my boyfriend are
Oh.
so great.
I remember we pre-recorded like 3 weeks up until the
Yeah.
release date. You guys broke up the day the podcast went live. The day, like that Sunday.
I love the drum.
And so then,
We had, like,
what a great transition. So
Yeah.
your New Year's is to stop with serious relationships, but you still want to, like, casually date.
Yeah.
Hence the loud ass text
Yeah.
you just got.
Because, like, at the end of the day, it is my hobby. Like, I know that's so bad. and I
Okay,
say
yeah.
that.
Let's unpack that.
Let's unpack that, because it is. Like, I love, like, being social in the context of, like, flirting. Like, I flirt with everyone.
Yeah,
You know?
there was that. Okay, this is such a side note.
Yeah.
But we were obviously, for us to be able to do this, me and Maddie need to have a certain level of chemistry,
Yeah.
a certain level
Of
banter. Sorry?
Flirtation. Like, I just believe, like, you can flirt with your friends, like...
Well, that's what I was gonna say, is one time we were hanging out and my roommate, you and I were in our own conversation, doing our own thing. Gabby, who's our other roommate, Brianna, were talking, and Brie went, what are they doing over there? And Gabby went, I don't know, I think they're flirting with each other.
Yeah, like, it does...
Sometimes you gotta test your skills on the homies, make sure you're not rusty.
Yeah, no, I just love flirting, like, and there was something about, like, especially after my breakup, like, I was like, fuck, like... just flirting with people, it really just lights up my soul in a way that, you know, other hobbies can't. I don't know.
Other hobbies cannot.
Other hobbies
Something
can't.
about knitting doesn't do it for me.
No, I was gonna say that. Like, it doesn't. Like, I don't know. Like, I like writing. I, got into painting or whatever. Like, I made one painting.
Actually,
and I'm like,
I've been kind of branching out into hobbies.
I've been trying to do hobbies.
You got a little bit of a green thumb.
I have a green thumb. Like, I have a lot of hobbies. And flirting just happens to be one of them. Like, I just can't help it. It's just like being social. It's like, I don't know, social in the context of, in a romantic context.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you're still going to date.
Yeah.
Flirt. And be fresh and flirty and cute, but no serious relationships.
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line?
Like, I don't want to be in a relationship. I'm going to be a fuckboy.
Okay, but here's the thing.
I'm kind of excited.
I don't, like, when was the last time you were in, like, a situationship? Because I feel like you always just go straight into, like, a boyfriend.
I don't really fuck with a situationship either. Like, what
if you get to that point? Like, when are you going to be like...
I'm not exclusive. I think it's, like, I'm not exclusive with anybody unless... I'm just not exclusive with anybody this year.
Okay.
Like, I'll have, like, multiple things going on, hopefully. But I'm not calling it a situationship. Like,
okay.
Because then we also had that whole talk, you and I don't know if we're going to talk about this in a later episode, of, like, do situationships exist?
Yeah.
And, like, that's a whole other thing. Like, I don't know how I feel about a situationship.
Oh, trust me, I'm putting together a case study.
Yeah. That's a whole... We'll save it. But, yeah. Like,
I'm in the field, bitch.
Yeah, we're doing field work, But, yeah, so I just don't know how I feel about a situationship. Not sure where I'm going to draw the line, but I'm sure there will be lines drawn. I mean, there hasn't before. There hasn't been before, but we'll see. I mean, I have my eyes on a few people. They don't have their eyes on me, but that's okay.
Shut up. She has a crush.
I downloaded Snapchat again, and I regret it. I regret it. I literally downloaded it for this one man, and then he opened me today. So, you know what? I'm done with it. I'm over it.
How long has he left you on open?
16 hours. Yeah. No, like, it's over. The streak's gone. And I was like, how old am I to be giving a shit about a streak right now?
Right? It makes you feel stupid.
Like, I think I'm going to delete it again, or, like, maybe not delete it, but, like, just be done with it. I'm over it. I think it's so dumb. I don't know why. You know what? It was honestly that, like, post-breakup insanity.
Yeah.
Of, like, I need Snapchat.
No, yeah.
When have I ever been, like, a Snapchat
fiend?
Yeah, girly.
It's like you go into, like, heat or something when you and your boyfriend break up. Maybe not so much in the sexual sense, but just in the attention sense.
In my, like, I was, in the attention sense, for sure.
Well, I think because your ego gets so destroyed after a breakup, even, like, your
should
breakup.
Should I drop the line that he said to me? Should I?
I think in...
Yeah, later.
Yeah. So... I think your ego gets so damaged when you go through a breakup, especially your breakup.
And especially with, like, my flirtation obsession hobby.
That you almost need to, like, refeed your ego. Yeah. And I also think, too, when you break up in a situation like yours where it was just kind of dying out, you guys were super lovey-dovey,
you break
flirty.
Up 7 times and it's still not over. Yeah.
You guys weren't super lovey-dovey towards the end there, so I feel like you also were just, like, kind of missing that, like, desire.
Yeah, like,
desired feeling.
Yeah, 100%.
So that I think that makes total sense.
Yeah.
But it's been a little while now, and you're kind of like, oh, like, I'm chill, I'm cool. You know what I mean?
I'm fine.
You're getting your Riz back a little bit. So
now you're trying to be like one with the youth. We're like, yeah, we graduated, but we're still cool. Riz.
No, we've been saying Riz all morning. Like, and I probably by the time this comes out, that's like so old and over and done. But whatever.
Us just constantly blaming us being out of the loop with, like, oh, like, that was pre-recorded. Yeah. That was pre-recorded. That's my excuse for everything. Yeah. It's like, oh, that was, like, really pre-recorded. I don't know.
My New Year's resolutions are
tell us.
actually so opposite of yours. I don't know if you
Fair.
are joining us from last season, listener.
Or if you're new, welcome.
If you
How
are new,
fun.
welcome so much. Thank you for joining us. But if you are coming from before, you know that last year, I don't even know. Why are you laughing at me?
Because he just like coming and then paused, and I just like I don't know, like it was just funny. You're like, if you're coming,
If you're
it
coming
was
from
just
last
funny.
year,
I know.
If you're still coming, then see someone. But if you have joined us and you were here in season 2, you will know that last year I just absolutely refused to date. Absolutely refused.
Lauren
to
said,
speak
"Maddie,
to anyone.
content's on you."
Like, I don't know. I wasn't like overly depressed any more than usual.
I wasn't like too depressed.
Yeah, I was like manageable depressed.
Yeah.
But I was also in school, and I think I was just like, there was just so much going on. It was just such a back burner concern for me. And also, like, you were going through the ringer with dating, so it was just kind of like...
kind of a turn off.
It wasn't the time.
Kind of a turn
It was
off.
a turn off.
I can definitely understand that.
Yeah, so I just wasn't into it. But my New Year's resolution is to put myself out there. Thank you. Put myself out there more, be more confident in myself, and just... I don't want to say my New Year's resolution is to date more, even though that's definitely an aspect of it, but I think to go after what I want more, because I think a lot of the reason why I wasn't dating last year is I was like, I just knew it wouldn't work out, but I never tried.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've said
Shutting
that
it
about
down
me
before
Yeah.
it can actually
So
be
I don't
anything.
want to do... I think because I also just didn't want something, so anyone who tried to talk to me last year, I was like, no.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I'm in a bit of a better place now, so I want to try that, and I've got a little bit of a head start.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. On
Lauren said she was gonna pull a Mills with something. I don't know if I'm not gonna say what it is because I feel like you texted me.
I'm in my Mills era. So an example of me putting myself out there more.
Yeah, give us a little example.
Something that would have normally sent me running for the hills, but I ended up doing it, is...
Pulling a Mills.
Well, one, I did something I never do. Guys, I actually have started working out way more. I just want to throw it out there.
Going to the gym.
I'm feeling good. I have a bunch of clothes that I didn't fit into for a while because they were too small, and now they all fit. I just feel really healthy and good. And part of the reason I was able to do that is because I bought a couple sessions from a personal trainer. And it was like very basic. Like, you get like the free session with your gym, and then you can like buy like a bundle or something.
It's
so
just
I did.
So fun.
I did.
It's just so fun.
Can you keep it in your pants for 5 seconds?
No. I can't. This was like, also I was like in a relationship, so this was like big for me.
This was you,
like,
yeah.
This was like, I was living for this, okay?
So I was going to my trainer, and I was like, this was right around the time, this was like early fall, where I was like, I need to put myself out there more, because I really I go into a little bit of a hobbit in the summer, just because it's like, you know,
it's my seasonal depression era.
It's
It's hard to get out. When
and then when your friend is barricaded,
all
in
your
her
friends
house.
have like seasonal depression in the
I know,
summer.
you guys really do.
Yeah. Not trying to out anyone
But,
else in the room, right?
Yeah. If anybody wants to be my friend in the summer months who doesn't get seasonal summer depression, hit me up, because I'm
It's
looking for
like-
one.
It's really a brutal time to be depressed, but is it better than the winter?
The reason I think I'm in a little bit of a better place, the reason I'm feeling a little bit better, is I've gotten my physical health a little under control, which has then helped my mental health, of course. So I started going to the gym in the summer because, you know, as I've said in the past, all my friends get seasonal depression in the summer, and I don't, and I needed something to do with all of my energy. So I started going to the gym. It was good, but you know when you first start going to the gym and it's like you think you're doing everything right, and you're just absolutely not.
Yeah.
So they have those free like one-on-one sessions. So I took one of those, and then the guy was actually really good. Like, he seemed like he knew what he was doing, and you kind of need to have like a little bit of a good vibe with
You love a man who knows what he's doing.
I love a man that knows what he's doing.
It's totally fair.
You need to be with somebody who like as a trainer that you can like hang out, like connect with, you know, or else it's just like awkward. So I was like, okay, yeah, we get along. Like, I do need some help with some things at the gym. You buy 3 personal training sessions with them for like $200 or something. Right. And so we have our 3 workout sessions. This was back in like the fall or something, and went really well. And then I hadn't had a job yet. I was about to graduate, so I couldn't afford to do like regular training or whatever, but he was really good. Tell me why last week he asked me on a date on Hinge.
I could tell you why. I'm sure it's had something to do with the fitness.
The fitness?
The being
he was really
fit.
into how long I was doing
gym.
my RDLs.
The leggings.
The leggings.
My brother's calling you. The butt scrunch leggings.
The butt scrunch leggings. Yeah, so we worked out like 3 times in the fall. I did not work out with him again. Ever since then, I've just like seen him sometimes at the gym and been like, oh, hey. Like, you know what I mean? And then I deleted Hinge for a little while for reasons I won't go into right now. And when I re-downloaded it for other reasons I won't go into right now, he had already matched with me, so we liked, and then he asked me out on a date. And I went.
And okay, so this brings us all the way back around to, is it weird? I don't even know what the question is, to be honest. Is it fucking bananas to go on a date with your former personal trainer?
What do you think?
No.
Okay.
I thought it was super normal, but then I thought I was the problem.
Well,
so I asked my parents.
Yeah, you asked your parents, Brianna asked her mom, and I asked my parents. What did your parents say?
My parents were like, what a great way to meet people. That's brilliant. Like,
better than the apps.
Yeah, like better than the apps. You don't know if they're like a murderer on the apps, like, you know. Yeah. So I don't know. They were cool with it, and I was like, yeah, I agree.
What about Bree's mom? Bree said her mom also said the same thing. Like, oh, that sounds nice. What a great way to meet someone. He's like,
where are you gonna meet someone? You know?
Yeah. So I know you all wonder where I get my drama, my flair, my passion, my over the topness. It's from my parents, because when I called them and said, hey guys, remember that trainer I worked out with a little bit in the fall? He actually asked me on a date. My mom starts going, boundary issues, boundary problems. I have boundary issues with, like, she just starts freaking the fuck out. She tells everyone in my family.
It's the family goss.
She tells everyone.
But you know what? Like, how fun is it that they can just tune in and get the update?
They don't fucking tune in is the best part. They just talk shit.
There's no way.
Support the podcast.
There's no way.
But I ended up getting like a FaceTime from my younger cousin who was literally at her semi-formal.
What did she think?
Do you not think it's weird that it was his job to watch you squat and then he asked you out on a date? I said, sometimes you just got to check out the product before you buy it.
Yeah, like, I almost feel like that's better.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't tell your 14-year-old cousin that.
No.
But, you know, it's like...
she's 16, bitch. Yeah, I know.
She's 16
Yeah.
Okay.
Weird, right?
Anyways. That's, yeah, like... I don't know. I guess
I just want to ask you guys. Like,
I'm intrigued to see, are we wrong?
Because
also our friends were also like, that sucks.
Brianna was having a visceral reaction. Like, I thought, screaming, rolling around, upset. Gabby was like, this is really weird.
Yeah.
Like, Bishop, our other friend, Maddie Bishop, she thought it was like...
Us just name dropping.
Yeah, why am I doing that? Sorry, guys. They also thought it was really weird.
Just like, all our friends thought it was like really odd and uncomfortable.
Yeah, everybody was uncomfortable. Brianna, I think the most thing was she was uncomfortable. Like, every time he messaged me, she was like, oh my god, like...
And it's like, fair, I guess. I don't know. I just don't think it's that weird.
I don't think
I just never thought it was that weird. I just feel like there's no... Because I just think if you see someone that you like and there's no... It's not like he's still your trainer. If he was still your trainer, I think that's might be kind of like a conflict of interest where, like, you know, obviously you're paying him.
Yeah.
Like, it might be weird, you know, for other reasons too, but like, you're paying him. But like, so I just feel like it's like... Fine. I don't know. I don't see any problem with it.
I think I want to ask the audience, ask you guys first, and then we can get into it more on another episode once I hear back from everybody. But like,
I'm just intrigued to see.
That's my New Year's res, is to put myself out there more, which I absolutely did with that. Yeah. Because I will say, like, as I was going to the date, I was like, what am I doing? Like, I need to turn around.
He's my trainer.
He's my trainer.
Former
this is like a
trainer.
porno.
Former.
Like,
I just think it's important to say it's the former trainer.
yeah.
Like, that's a huge detail.
So, but I went and I had a good time. So we'll talk about it more.
And it's also, too, I think it's important to put out two other facts that I think are important to know.
Okay.
One, you definitely were flirting with them. Two, like, this girl has boundary issues, not him.
And when he was training me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably was.
No, you were. You told me about it.
Yeah, I was.
And two, so there's that. So that's like one whole thing. So it's like, obviously he's not.
I seduced him.
Like, he didn't, like, make this up in his head.
Yeah.
And two, what was my other point with it? Yeah, I don't remember what my other point was. No idea. But that was an important one. Like, you were definitely flirting with him, too.
Yeah, but I just didn't think it would ever go anywhere. So I was just like, I just like to flirt. Like I said, it's a hobby. But it went somewhere, so.
As it should. As the best flirtations do.
Yeah.
You know?
So I guess it was working.
Yeah, no, it was. And, yeah, fair.
Yeah, so that's my New Year's reso. Showing that I'm already getting out there a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I'm really excited to hear what people have to say. Because I felt gaslit. I felt a little... I was like, am I the problem?
We were calling each other being like, no, is it like...
I had to ask my parents because I was simply like...
We were the only two people who didn't have like
any kind
physical,
of weird...
visceral reactions to it.
And like, fair enough. Oh, my other point is actually so valid. I just remembered it.
I'm glad you remembered.
There's like multiple other guys at the gym that you've talked to before. So it's like... Like, Juan will go on dates at the gym and bring people to the gym. It's not like he's the first guy at the gym, you know? Like, it's not like you have a rule or a boundary against guys at the gym.
That's actually really bad because I took the other guy that I'm dating to the gym. And like,
I know.
Yeah, like, I like to... Honestly, here's the thing.
I'm just saying, like, the gym is a hunting ground.
Not to self-hate, not to be self-deprecating or anything. You know I love myself. You know I'm working on myself. But... I am one of the most average-looking women in the gym, and potentially below average, because they're all so beautiful. They're there, they're working out, they got their cute little fits on.
They grind,
and they're sexy, like they're looking good. And fucking Adam Sandler, like myself, walks in there
with the basketball shorts. Like, you don't feel your best at the gym. I get that. I don't go to the gym like. I don't try to look good at the gym, No,
and I definitely didn't at the start. When I realized it was a fucking dating cesspool in there, I started a little bit more, but...
No, the gym is, like, a great spot.
What I'm getting at is that I need all my sexy ladies in the gym to start flirting with these guys a little bit more, or else you're gonna lose them all to me, and that just sucks for both of us.
But maybe this is answering our question in a way. Maybe everyone is just so weird about dating at the gym that it's just, like, opening up opportunities. I'm not saying go harass people. I'm just saying
the gym.
It's not
first and foremost.
I just don't think it's that weird. Yeah, I just don't think it's that weird if somebody is like interested in you. You might have had some friendly banter before. I don't think it's that crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's that. We'll have to talk more about that on another episode.
Yeah.
But let us know what you think. You can either probably, if you check our Instagram stories, if you're listening on the same day, you can answer it there, or you can answer it in our question forum. Link is in the bio or in the show notes of this episode.
Cute.
So speaking of the
description.
Show notes sounds a little cooler.
I know. I was going to say.
I heard someone say that on a podcast the other day.
Yeah, check it in the show notes, not the description.
Speaking of questions in our question forum, which you can always go and submit any questions that you want in there.
Little beep bop boop.
Little beep bop boop. And we have a question that we thought was relevant to a story that we wanted to share with you guys today, because we are still going to be rounding things up. As you know, we had in our little season 2 finale, we talked about how the structure of the show is going to be changing a little bit just with everything that happened last year. And I think kind of what I like for the structure a little bit more is kind of being a little bit more topical and not so specific on our lives, but maybe basing them off of like a question that we get in the question forum, things like that, so that we can still be answering other questions and be general, but also talk about our experiences rather than just dissecting our entire lives on here, which proved to be not so favorable last season.
To our personal lives.
Yeah.
So we have, basically we're going to round up where we've been. I love calling it. I love being like so dramatic about it. Like, where we've been. I know it's been a while. But yeah, so we got this question in the question form, and we think it really sets the scene, sets the vibes for this
story.
Little story time of where we've been.
So the question is, how can you tell your friend that her new man/boyfriend is not good for her without overstepping? Any tips on how to have a conversation? Is it a friend's responsibility to say that, or is it totally overstepping or a risk to cause issues in a friendship?
Do you know where it's going? Can you tell? So let's if we're going to round up the off season, let's talk about where we left off. Okay. The last episode before the finale, actually it wasn't the last episode. There was like 3 episodes, but one of them was I'm Not Going. Or this is what it was called. And it was about my first date with my now ex-boyfriend. And that was a fun date. It was a fun app. It was good vibes all around. And I liked the guy. Yeah, I really liked the guy. It was a good date. I'm not gonna rehash it. But
you can go listen to it.
Yeah, we have a whole app about it. But it was fun. And so, as Laura and I do, we'll talk about dates. We'll talk about things, whatever, and kind of joke about it. Everything's a bit. At the end of the day, everything's a bit, even if it's not a bit and it's serious, and we do like the person, we're still gonna make jokes about it because that's what we do.
Yeah. So
as a career,
and that's also just like our friendship. So
yeah,
Maddie went on these dates with her ex, and the first like little while I was definitely vibing it because Maddie was like just kind of still a little upset over like something else that had happened. I remember she was like canceling on him a couple times.
What a terrible year that I had, though.
Yeah, you were like
2023 hoping for the best.
You were like, you had canceled on him a couple times, and I remember we were like, just go on the date, like just see what happens. And you went.
Terrible advice.
It like went well or whatever, but I did like have some concerns about him just because I think I was so hypersensitive to men at this point. Just like, I mean, if you're from season 2, like. I just like was ultra sensitive to what was going on, and Maddie had been through so much in the past year, so I just felt like, oh my god, even the tiniest little red flag, the tintest.
Okay.
I wanted to say the slightest tint of red, but that doesn't make sense. I was gonna say like
that's so like metaphorical and beautiful.
I know. I really
for this app right now.
I was like, I don't know. And so I took it amongst myself to like talk about it, but I don't know, had it been a normal year for you, maybe if I had maybe I would have brought it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was so minor at that point.
Yeah.
But I think it was just like so oversensitive as to what was going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I can understand why a friend might think it's their responsibility to bring it up.
For sure. And so we had talked about Lauren's concerns, whatever. But we wanted to make an app about the date, obviously, because that's what we did at the time. And, this is when kind of our lack of planning in episodes. This is why we have notes now. Because at the time we didn't. We really just like
we were in school and
all of season 2, and I would say most of season 1, if not all of season 1, we really just freeballed this shit. We said improv, like here's the story idea, let's do it, let's talk. And we did get, I think that's like where we get our best actual stories, like to be honest. Like I do think when we freeball, it's like the funniest shit because it's just like very natural, whatever. So like that's kind of what we rolled with because we wanted the show to be funny and entertaining. But at a certain point, that kind of took it was like a little too entertaining, I think we were given too much. Like I was like so like Lauren had brought up like these concerns that she had brought up to me in private, but like since it was on the show, I felt like we were kind of, everything on the show is like
elevated, funny,
like it's like, it's like intense, it's entertainment, right? So everything's like way more serious.
And plus like too, when we had been discussing my concerns, it sounds so serious.
It's like,
I was just like, I don't know if this guy's the vibe. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, like it's like that was kind of the thing.
Whenever we would like talk about it, we weren't like sitting down and being like, Maddie, I just don't know.
It's
about
not like
this guy.
Yeah,
We were like joking around. I was like, oh, this guy's a fucking clinger.
Yeah, you know, like
what
it's
I
like,
mean?
yeah, he is. He fucking loves me. He's obsessed. Like it was like that kind of vibe, you know. So it's like, and then we did the ep,
which we didn't plan or really
Yeah.
even talk about what we were gonna do before we went into it.
Yeah. So
I start bringing
Yeah.
up my concerns on the show, and I mean, like, you can go back and listen to all this. I start bringing up my concerns on the show.
I kind of love that we're like, yeah, just go listen, just go
listen to it.
watch. It's
I
on
start
YouTube.
bringing up my concerns on the show, but I'm also like hyping, like elevating everything that I'm saying
Yeah.
because I'm on the show and I'm trying to be funny and I'm trying to make it like entertaining, you know. And
Which
I
fair
think,
enough.
I mean, yeah. What did you think about it?
I mean,
It was almost like, here's the thing. It was how we described it to each other. It was almost like the podcast persona, which the podcast persona is us, but just like
amplified.
dialed up,
Yeah.
was kind of like starting to bleed into normal life. And I was like taking things so serious outside of the show. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
to continue with the story a little bit more.
Like,
but
yeah. I was kind of coming from the point where I was like, I didn't know exactly what I wanted with this guy. Like, I had went on one date with him. I know I liked him, but it's like, I don't know what that's going to be. And so it was like, then releasing an episode that was like very timely. Like,
that was another thing.
Like, it was like, we released that episode, like, I had been seeing him kind of like after the first date and like before the ep came out, so it's like that was like his first impression of Lauryn. Like,
Yeah.
So it's like Lauryn kind of like shitting on him, like not
majorly
like,
shitting on him.
I was go listen to the ep. But
I mean,
like,
I still stand by what I said.
Yeah.
it wasn't a good like impression. He should have met me first instead of meeting like podcast Lauryn first.
Yeah.
Because podcast Lauryn is obviously like crazy, turned up to 10, whatever, has no manners, has no like social awareness, because it's just me and my best friend shooting the shit, which is like the worst, kind of rawest version of myself.
And like, yeah, and so I didn't know what I wanted, but it's like that definitely didn't help me figure out what I wanted. Like, it was like, fuck, like, now my best friend and this guy, like, who like I was like, he's probably gonna be my boyfriend. Like, it's like,
because she liked him.
Yeah,
so
like I was like, shit, like, seems like we like each other, so it's like,
it's like the natural next step.
Yeah, it's not really, that's a really rough start, you know, like, it's just like a shitty start, because then I was like in this weird position where like I had to like obviously defend my best friend, but at the same time I was like, yeah, she was totally shitting on you. Like, I don't know, like, you watch the app, like, I can't be like, oh yeah, like, she really likes you, you know, like I can't, like, there's nothing I can really say that's like not like, well, I mean, facts, yeah, you know, like, I was just like a weird, like, I was stuck in the middle in like a really weird way.
I mean, and it's definitely something that we did to ourselves.
Yeah. Like, it's no,
because it was, you know, when you start dating somebody, you have your conversations with your friends where you literally go through everything that they do with a fine-tooth comb. Like,
now imagine him hearing it.
Now imagine,
you know,
putting a microphone in front of your face, a camera, and uploading it to
posting.
www.youtube.com.
Yeah.
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were definitely made.
Because he heard all of that, and of course I
I'm
felt
shocked
like,
he listened, though.
I'm shocked
like,
too. Of course I felt like shit when I found out that he had listened to that, because I never want to make anyone feel like shit. At this point, he was just some guy that Maddie was seeing. He wasn't really humanized to me, if that makes sense. Like, I was just kind of getting like the story off of Maddie, and I wasn't like, I think because when we were talking and we were just constantly joking, I didn't totally know where Maddie was at with it, and neither did she, but even less so. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, it wasn't really about him per se, because, you know, like, obviously it didn't really work out, but it was just like how we handled the situation. And it kind of relates back to the question, you know, obviously people aren't posting their shit on the internet, but like, there is definitely a way to handle it and the way not to handle it. Posting on the internet being, you know, part of the latter there. But yeah, I was feeling sad. This is the notes. The notes are really... it's going to take me a minute to get used to having, like, actual notes, but I'll just read them. It's kind of funny. Feeling sad because Lauryn was mean. Feeling exploited, which is when we realized that the style of the show just wasn't sustainable. Which, yeah, like, that was, yeah, like, I was like, was I okay? Like...
That is true, though. But I will say, for the feeling exploited thing, just... Yeah. Sure. We both decided to put the episode out.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't like, oh, but it was like, too, like, there was this weird pressure, too, because Lauryn hadn't been going on dates. Like, this wasn't, like, Lauryn wasn't putting this pressure on me, but, like, just in general, like, I felt the pressure.
We need content.
Yeah, like, I was like, fuck, like, we have nothing to talk about this week, so, like, I guess we can talk about this date that I went on. Even though I like the guy, even though I don't want to, fuck shit up, but, like, what else are we going to talk about this week? So it was kind of like... I just feel like there's such a pressure in season 2 because I don't feel that pressure anymore because I'm like over it. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just not doing that anymore. Mm-hmm. But it's like I felt such a pressure in season 2 to be constantly like producing and living this like very exaggerated life when like really like I just want to chill on my couch and watch TV. So it's
that's
like
all part of learning this whole podcasting thing as we go, and how we are ever evolving women. We started this when we were like just coming off 19, 20, and I know we're only just like 22, 23 now, but genuinely the growth in those years has been so big that I don't really resonate with the first season 1 Lauryn anymore. So I think that we were in season 2, we didn't have we just felt very different in season 2, and we were still kind of trying to keep the season 1 aesthetic and feel alive, even though we weren't kind of living that life anymore.
And there was also the pressure too of like we were in a professional studio, so it's like if we don't have a fucking banger of an ep to like come out, then it's like, oh, that sucks. It's like we're literally in a professional studio, whereas now we're chilling in my living room, so it's like, okay, whatever, it's like a good story, whatever. I don't know, less pressure.
That was kind of when that came to a head, and we realized like, oh shit, we can't be posting the ins and outs of our current personal life online because it's affecting our relationship, it's affecting other relationships. It wasn't sustainable.
It wasn't sustainable. And so that's when we were like, let's let things marinate, make it juicy up instead of
let the plot line go all the way.
That's another thing too. Like, it's nice to have like a ending, instead of just posting something. I did that both seasons. At like the very end of the season, I was like, yeah, I'm talking to this guy again, and then like we just never said anything about it again, and then I was like married to them. And then it's like shit, and then we break up, and then here we are, season 3, round 3.
So after I went on the internet and publicly bashed him with my heart, spirit, and soul, Maddie was still dating him, which is totally fine and totally her decision.
It's we take what we say with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, you're your own person, so you can take your friend's advice or not.
Yes. So they continued to date or started dating, I don't know. And it was just like, it was just awkward. And I remember Maddie and I did have a talk about it. And where you were like, that wasn't cool. Like, you're kind of airing out my business a little. And I was like, yeah, no, you're right. We got to figure out some boundaries with this show. We're always like learning and figuring this out as we go. So I was like, okay, yeah, for sure. But it was definitely a little awkward between us. Like, I definitely felt like it was a little tense. And then I came over here. Maybe we were working on like the finale or something for the show. And he came over, Maddie's ex, and at this point, because when Maddie and I talked, I was like, I do feel bad, that I aired him out like that, he deserves like a chance here, like,
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I would like to apologize to him. And then a couple days later, it ended up that he was here when I was here. So it was so funny because we were in this living room. He was sitting right where I am. I was sitting where Brianna is sitting.
Something about the studio in the living room I'm
Maddie
just
went
loving.
to go pee, which, as you know, Maddie pees like 20 times a day, so max 15 seconds you piss. We don't have much time.
They both know this.
I look up. He's looking at me. I go, how's your Big Mac? He goes, I know what you said about me on the podcast.
And like,
That's funny as fuck.
Like that's really funny. Like, it's like,
And I just say, I think I was just like, yeah, I'm sorry, that wasn't fair. And then he said, like, it was a bit much, but we're cool or something. Like, just a quick kind of like,
we good.
White
Salute.
flag moment.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like, we're cool. But it is still like, it's still awkward. Like, it is. And so, we just didn't talk for a while.
We were like, okay, cool.
Also,
Salute.
like, we were at the end of season 2. We were at the end of our degree. We were burnt out as fuck.
Yeah.
We were stressed out about other things within the realm of the show. And I think it was just like, I just need a break.
Fucking break.
I think I just need a fucking break.
But it was weird,
and there was
too.
no way that you were going to have a fair chance, I think, at exploring that relationship with me always around.
Yeah, I think that's
I was
fair.
such a negative burden on your relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say. And like, too, also the, like, it was weird though, because we would have things that we had to do for the podcast, but like we weren't speaking outside of the podcast. So like, literally we went to like Bar Sophia for influencer event. We're influencers.
We got into the biggest fight we'd ever had.
Literally had ever had. So we were like, fuck it. Like, we still have to go, obviously.
Yeah.
So we went and just like didn't speak. We brought 2 other people and we were just like, okay, I'll film the TikTok. Like, and like just did our shit. Both got like the drinks. Like, essentially we were just sitting at the same table.
Yeah.
And then like kind of like
Which, can I
talking
just
amongst ourselves.
say like how awkward it is to be fighting with your friend like that?
No,
like
literally.
it's just so unnatural. Like, and you're
And it
just
sucked though, because we like had to be there. Like, we just like wouldn't have went, like if it was just like we had to be there. Like, that's one thing about the business partner friendship thing
overlap.
Like, it's like, it's weird.
You can't
It's
take
really
time
weird.
apart if
Yeah.
you really need it, which we definitely did, because it's really hard to be like.
I think
really
we did a good job,
I
though.
do too. I really
Like,
I
we
was just
managed
gonna
it
say
really
that.
well.
I was just gonna say that, but it can be really hard because Maddie and I at the time we were taking all of the same classes. We're also good friends. Like, when shit happens, I want to tell Maddie like right away. We do this podcast together. We also kind of have, because of the podcast, like things that only each other will get, like seeing certain people doing certain things, we have our own inside jokes, whatever. And it's just like, I think sometimes it's just too much.
Yeah,
it's just too much.
And that's like, I feel like anyone who's been around, who has a friend who they've just like been around a lot, will get that. Like, it's like there's just a lot. Like, that's just a lot of like one person. And so it was like, yeah, it was weird, but I think we did a good job of separating like what's professional and what's not professional. And then we were like, okay, well, let's just fucking grind through the professional shit and just do it, and not like we had an air of professionalism to us at Bar Sophia. If I must say, that was like one of my favorite TikToks we've ever made. Check it out on our
You
account
made it. You
at
did
the weekend
that whole thing
roundup
yourself. You did a
I
great
did.
job.
Lauren was pissy, so I handled it. Just kidding.
But no, you did a really good job of that TikTok.
Thank you.
But yeah, it was just awkward. And so we didn't talk for a while, which was partly due to our lack of content, but also creative differences with the studio. I really just think that the show needed to almost like be torn down to be built back up again, in a way. Like, it was just,
Yeah, like, we were just done with season 2. You know what I mean? Like, we were like, we could drag this on until like fucking, I guess it would have been like October or November, but it's like, we're gonna be putting out episodes that I don't think either of us are, gonna be vibing. There was gonna be no energy to it. We didn't want to do it. And if you don't want to do something, simply don't do it.
we were just so burnt out by the end of season 2. And so we took some time apart, and then we honestly, in part of that too, I think the reason it went on so long is the longer you let it go on, the weirder it is to talk again. And like, it's not like we were actively fighting or like
No, we just
cut each other out of our
simply
lives.
weren't really chatting.
We just weren't having like chit chats.
Yeah.
Like, we were just taking our own
Yeah.
time. Like, if I had to tell her something, I would tell her.
Yeah.
And I still liked
But
her
it was, like,
Instagram photos and answered her texts in the group chat. But like, we weren't hanging out. We weren't talking. She was also exploring and in a relationship, in a new relationship. So, you know, she was like figuring that out. So eventually we did talk because we had to, because we have a show together that we needed to
We're
figure
like,
out.
buds, guess it's about time.
We had to figure out if we were going to do it or not.
Like,
so,
what's going on?
And so we talked, and I think something that I will say is both of us explained our side, and this is like the spark notes of everything that went on between us. Let's just, and so when we talked, we both explained our side of the story. We both heard the other person out. We talked about it. And at the end of it, we were not in each other's arms, like so happy, like, oh, I'm so happy to be back together. By the end of it, I think we realized, like, I burned you. Yeah. You burned me.
And we were just like,
and we were like, you either stay in that, like, anger or like not wanting, you know, you stay in that feeling, or you recognize what you did wrong, accept the other person's apology and move on.
Like, that's really all you can do in any kind of friendship fight. It's like, okay, well, and like at some point, like in some instances, not in ours, like, but in some it could be like that could be it, you know? Like, but we were just like,
don't make the effort to talk again.
And it's like, okay, fair, like if that's what you want to do, then fine. But like, I don't know, I just feel like I didn't want to do that.
I had to, like, what I asked myself is, like, I was like, okay, is it worth it? Is what you need to ask
that's
yourself.
kind of the question.
Is it worth it to continue this friendship? Is it worth it to continue the show? Is it worth, and ultimate, even though, you know, Maddie had hurt my feelings, and same with you, I had hurt your feelings. Is it worth it to continue on? And ultimately, after we took time apart and talked, we decided that it was worth it, because I love you and I love this show, and it just, I would have felt a bigger sense of loss in my life had we decided, had I not put my ego aside and accepted your apology and been reflective on what I had done wrong and apologized for that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I just would have lived the rest of my life like feeling burned by you and feeling upset and feeling guilty. You know what I mean? I just, there wouldn't have been a resolution, and we would have thrown away this awesome thing that we had built for so long and have put so many hours into and so much hard work into. Yeah. It just, and even taking the show out of it, because that's always been a concern too. Like, if it gets to the point that we can't be friends because of this show, we have to end the show. And I'm just not done with this.
Yeah, like, it's just like, might as well keep it going. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, is it worth it? Yeah, like, period, you know? And, like, yeah, we talked, whatever, we understood each other, and that's kind of, I think, what you have to strive for if you're going into that kind of conversation with your friend.
So the thing is as the friend, the reason you bring up your concerns is because you love that person and you have empathy for them and you want the best things in life for them, and it all comes most of the time from a very good place. And, you know, maybe sometimes thinking that you have their best interest at heart, or that maybe thinking from your perspective you can see it better than they can, and all these different things. And I think what I learned from this was, regardless of where you're coming from, it's all in your delivery. So even if, and I was coming from the most genuine, loving place, my delivery was coming from a place of like almost like bitterness maybe, or just not right. I just wasn't communicating what I wanted to communicate. It was coming off like very bitter, very sour, and it just wasn't effective. The medium is the message.
Yeah, that's a huge PR thing.
As we learned in PR, but I think I understand why a friend would go to someone and have their concerns. However, you just need to understand that, like, you're just coming at it from two super different perspectives. Yeah.
As the friend who is, like, dating the shitty guy, I think the move is to, like, make them kind of realize it. Like, I think asking questions is, like, the best thing you can do. Like, instead of being like, hey, don't you think that was, that was shitty that he did that? He sucks. Be like, oh, that's crazy he did that. Yeah. Or be like, how'd that make you feel that he did that? Yeah. You know, like ask questions to kind of let someone figure it out on their own. Because at the end of the day, like, nobody likes feeling like they're, like, being told or like
Yes.
guided a certain way.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to like just inquire. Like, I just feel like you need to ask questions. Like, okay, well, how did that make you feel? Or are you sure you're not jumping into this? But maybe not like that. I wouldn't say that. I don't know. Maybe like,
Yeah, don't say that.
maybe say, I know, I was gonna say maybe from experience. But like, I don't know. It really depends on the situation. But I would just try to frame it in a way that you're like asking because you're concerned, not in a way where you're telling.
Yeah.
Like, just be like, I'm asking, I'm just wondering how this is making you feel. Really, really take on your inner therapy, like therapist role. Like, man, how does that make you feel that you did that, you know? Because at the end of the day, like, people realize, I think you can realize, I saw this like quote or something, I don't remember where I saw it, but it was like, it's one thing to, you know, realize that somebody's bad for you, but it's totally another thing to accept it. So really all you can do is kind of, you know, help your friend realize maybe, and then you like, or maybe not even help them realize, but help them accept at the end of the day. And that is kind of what
I think they can realize it
the
on
difference
their
is.
own,
Yeah,
but
accepting
it is where you kind of come in. Role.
Yeah, so kind of just like vibe it out, ride the wave, because at the end of the day, that's all you do. You ride the wave with your buddies, and you know, see what happens.
Ride the wave with your buddies. But yeah, I think the overall thing to take away from this is that the overall everything is that it was all a misinterpretation, I think, is what I'm trying to say. Where I was coming from was the right place. The messaging was totally wrong. Maddie totally didn't like get where I was coming from because I wasn't putting it out the way that I should have been putting it out, you know. So I think always, if you do want to bring this up, one, pick your battles. Like, don't, you know, if this guy is just like kind of cringy on text and, you know, some minor things here and there, it's really not worth it, because it's almost like you're taking a shot at their like character judgment almost a little bit if you're just gonna shit on every single guy. But you know, obviously if you have your concerns, you have them for a reason, and I think kind of following what Maddie said and like kind of just being there and supporting and asking questions is the best way to do it. If you've not been asked, what do you think of my man? What do you think of my girlfriend? Do you think they're good for me? At that point, that's them trying to accept it.
That's them trying to accept it. They're trying to get validation.
So I think that you just have to ride the wave, because this turns into such a sticky situation. And I don't know, Brianna, what's that podcast called that you listen to? Don't Blame Me with Megan Ranks. I don't know if you guys watched her. She was like a YouTuber back in the day, but she has an advice. It's almost like the Weekend Roundup, but just that's like her whole show. People will like call in and stuff.
And the Weekend Warm Up.
The Weekend Warm Up, sorry. And she gets questions.
That's her whole show. Bro, did we rip someone off?
And so I stole this show concept from her. But she says that she just does not discuss boyfriends with her friends anymore, because she's lost so many friends, and if she is asked, she's just like, well, you know, you can do whatever you want to do. Well, I do think that's a totally like different end of the spectrum. She's older than us, has had more friends, and I can see, like, had we not had this conversation, had this fight not happened, I feel like I would have continued to go on thinking that that was the way to have that conversation, and I would have fucked up more relationships. Like, So I
think there is a way to go about it.
There is a way. I don't think that you should not completely remove yourself like she does. I don't agree with that. I can see, I mean, it sounds like she's been burned by like 10 girls who are like, fuck you, I love my boyfriend, and like dump her. But I think a part of being a friend, and maybe I'm wrong here, is having like concern for your friends and having that kind of like, not like motherly instinct, but just kind of like a protectiveness almost. You want to look out for them. You want to make sure that they're okay. And especially a friend like Maddie, where we are so close, and I do know so much about her life and so much of the struggles that she's had. I think it was just more like a, like, oh my God, like, I'm just worried. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes maybe when you're that worried or you feel overwhelmed in that sense, you don't do things right. You don't go about it the right way. So I think it was a learning experience, and I can definitely say that I was in the wrong in my delivery of how I went about things, but I am genuinely happy that it happened, because it changed my whole perspective on, you know, involvement in friends' lives and where the line is. And, you know, I think it was definitely an interesting time. I hated it. I hate fighting with my friends. I hate fighting with you. It's just like, it makes me like sick. Like, it's just,
it's just gross. It
gross
sucks.
feeling.
It's not fun. Like,
No.
I honestly didn't have any fun for like 2 months. Like, it was just shitty. And it also changed my whole perspective on like the show. Just like, it changed my perspective on a ton of shit. Like, I was like, maybe we're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was a good thing overall.
But it was necessary, I think.
Yeah.
To like step away for a little while.
Yeah.
And, like, process that whole thing
And
make
figure it
sure that
out.
we can come back like as a unit.
Yeah.
And everything.
And for season 3.
And for season 3, I think friendship fights are pretty normal, even though they're not that
Nobody talks about it.
But you know what? Here's the thing. I will say that you and I can fight effectively because
We do communicate.
We always come back at the end
Yeah.
and talk and like sit down and talk it out. The reason we had that big fight the night before we went to Bar Sofia is because we did it. We were just like emotional.
We were never.
We were being
That was our
emotional, and we had
issue.
never been like that before with each other.
Yeah.
So, but at that point, it was just like emotions were flying. So, it's definitely interesting. I think that if you can fight with somebody and resolve it and come back together, then you can kind of be a little bit closer for it. Not that that should be your goal, but it definitely shows that you
but like if it happens, it happens. It's not like there's no relationship in your life, whether it's your fucking mom, dad, brother, best friend, boyfriend, anyone, who it's just a perfect relationship. You're always going to get kind of mad at someone or them kind of mad at you. So if you can actually express that, then you're going to be better off for it.
Express your differences, set new boundaries, and reassess and move forward.
Yeah.
Which is definitely what we did. And that's where we're at. So we are friends. No worries about that, guys. We are not pulling an Alex and Sophia.
Yet.
We'll see how season 3 goes.
Yeah, I don't know.
As for personal updates, I am, as I said before, putting a little case study together on situationships. I'm an investigative journalist. I'm in the field. I'm getting played. And no, guys, I have a really big crush on someone, and we're like seeing each other. But they're not ready to be exclusive, and I'm not ready to be exclusive. So we're like seeing other people, but it's a little bit of a mess. Anyway, y'all know what it is. You'll hear about it soon enough. Besides that, there's nothing really else from me. What about you?
So yeah, I went through a breakup, but I'm getting real tired of that narrative on the show. Like, let me tell you, I feel like every episode I'm coming on, another one, another breakup. Yeah, so I don't really want to talk about it too much, but I will just give some quick details of the breakup.
Some quick and dirty details.
Yeah. So I don't know. Lauren really wanted me to say that this is how it started. We had been going through it, and I was putting in a lot of effort into the relationship, and like I just felt like I wasn't getting it back. You know, when you're like, you're giving yourself to someone, you're literally like doing the most, trying to better yourself, and they're not. That obviously gets a little frustrating. So I was like, you know, and he was very patient with me about a lot of things. Like, obviously, it's not the
your best
easiest,
friend being a spaz.
You know,
he was patient with
thing
that.
to be with me. And so he was a very patient guy, and I was like, oh, man, like, I wish I had your patience. Like, I really do.
He was probably like, oh, thanks, babe.
Yeah, and then I was like, because you are on my last fucking nerve here with this whole thing here. Like, and like, it was like a little bit of a joke conversation at first, but then we actually broke up.
Then you guys ended the conversation by breaking up.
Honestly valid, because he was like, he ended up saying this banger of a line that I honestly think I'll remember for the rest of my life. He goes, well, like, and it wasn't even like in a mean way. Like, it was like so genuine. Like, he genuinely felt this way. He was like,
bless his heart.
Bless his heart. He was like, I just want to do what I want, when I want, on my schedule. Fair enough, dude. It sounds like you want to be single.
So I'm going to give that to you.
Here's my gift, my Christmas gift to you. We will break up. Fair enough. So that was that. And now we're back to my happiest self. You know, my single, flirtatious self. Because I'm not, you know, I'm back to my hobbies.
You're not dating anymore.
Yeah, I'm not dating anymore. I'm dating. I'm not in a relationship anymore.
Yeah. For sure.
Because there's a difference, okay? I hate when people say, oh, if you're dating, no, you're in a relationship. There's a difference. Next up. Yeah, that's my update. Not too interesting.
And I guess that is a great place to leave off.
Thank fuck.
Thank you guys so much for coming back for season 3, for waiting for season 3, for being excited for season 3. This is going to be a great year. It's just us now, guys. So it's really us and you and Brianna and the microphone and the truth.
Fair enough.
So you can submit all of your questions in the question form, as I mentioned, in the show notes. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Weekend Roundup.
Show notes.
You can follow me on Instagram at Lauren Landry.
At maybe Maddie Mills. And also, like this video if you're on YouTube. Rate, review if you're anywhere else. Do all that fun stuff.
It really helps us out, and we really appreciate it. So drop a review. And just thank you so much for coming back. I know I always go on these big rants about how much I love you guys and I thank you, and but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say thank you. We appreciate it. We're so excited to see you back here, and we're so excited for season 3.
Talk soon.
Oh my God, I want to say it together. And with that being said,
talk soon.